So I've been looking at the other Upanishads. After Kaushitaki, we'll be looking at something called Nada Bindu Upanishad, Atmabodha Upanishad, Nirvana Upanishad, Mudgala Akshamalika, Tripura Saubhagya Lakshmi, and Bhakfruchopanishad. So I found Nirvana Upanishad a little too high on the philosophy, and if you felt Kaushitaki Brahmanopanishad is uh, highly philosophical or it has too much depth, there are other Upanishads which will be even hard to grasp. So let's go slowly. There is no hurry. I don't want to just read what is there, translate it to English, and we just move on to the next Upanishad, or we just move on to something else. So in the last week's session, we had a discussion about the Prarabdha Karma, Sanchita Prarabdha and Agami Karma. So this is something similar to what Aditi and a few others were saying. Sanchita is definitely the piled up karma phala since a millennia, or since every birth that we took so far, and we do certain karma and then its results, they follow us. From these piled up karmas, this Sanchita is a storage unit. Whatever we have done, it's there in that storage unit. So from that storage unit, whatever we are supposed to experience in this particular lifetime, that becomes prarabdha. We take a part of what we have done, we just go through the results of it, and then accumulate a little more karma. That accumulating little more karma that we commit in this lifetime will all be collected and then again put into Sanchita karma. So Sanchita karma, consider it as a vault somewhere in the universe where they keep tabs of everything that is happening. Now from that vault, to fulfill the loan that we have taken or something, we come here. That loan, that fulfillment of loan is called prarabdha karma. We come here, we bear that karma. Because of whatever is happening to us, we again do actions, good or bad, and relatively we again accumulate karma, and that is put back into sanchita. This becomes an endless process. The karma, accumulating karma, adding it to sanchita, and then coming back with prarabdha, and then doing agami again and getting it back to sanchita. So this becomes an endless process. But fortunately, Advaita Vedanta, it assures one who follows Shravana, Manana and Nididhyasana continuously for a longer period, his Sanchita and Agami will be burnt away in Gnana Agni. Gnana Agni. Gnana Agni. However, just one second. However, the Prarabdha must undoubtedly be experienced like Ramana Maharshi or Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, who have experienced their Prarabdha karmas. Meaning, understanding Vedanta, understanding the Brahman, realizing the Brahman, and this is happening through what? Sravana, listening to or learning. Manana, remembering it consistently. And then Nididhyasana, putting it into practice. So as this is done, your Sanchita karma, it automatically it gets rid of you. You get rid of it rather. And then by what? You get rid of it through your Gnana Agni, your Agni of knowledge of Brahman. However, whatever prarabdha karma we have brought in this lifetime, that has to be undoubtedly borne. Yeah, Doyle.
No, I was just asking what are Shravana, Manas, and Nidhi Gyasana. I didn't understand. I understood that.
Shravana is listening or learning, because all these used to be Guru Sishya Parampara. Gurus used to teach, the Sishyas used to listen and learn. Even these mantras that are related to Upanishads, no books in the hands of gurus, no books in the hands of sishyas. It is just from mind to the listeners. So that comes under Shravana. Next is Manana. The student has listened, he's gone elsewhere. Now he remembers what the Guru has taught or what the Upanishads have taught, what Brahman is, how to perceive Brahman, how to realize the state of Brahman and all these things. Now Nidhityasa is putting it into practice. Whatever the Upanishads have taught, whatever Vedanta has taught, putting it into practice and then implementing it in your real life. You will ignite your Gnana Yagna. That's how your Sanchita Karma, it keeps burning. Now in Koushitaki Upanishad, we have also seen how once you reach the state of that deathless, that ageless river, how all your karma will get just separated from you. We have seen that yesterday in Kaushitaki Upanishad. So, Om Vangme Manasi Pratishtita Manome Vachi Pratishtitam Aviravirmayedhi Vedasya Maanistha Srudam Me Mamahas Prahasihi Anenathitena Horatran Samdadhami Rutam Vadishyami Satyam Vadishyami Tan Mamavatu Tad Vaktaramavatu Avatu Mam Avatu Vaktaram Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Now, we'll just quickly revise what we have looked at yesterday. First, what happened? Gargyayana Maharshi. So, Gargyayana Maharshi, otherwise called Chitra, he went to Gautama Maharshi for a particular yajna and he sent his son. And after the yajna, he asks the son whether he knows how to reach the Urdhva Lokas. He says no, comes back to Gautama Maharshi. Gautama Maharshi and his son, they both come to Gargyayana Maharshi asking, we don't know that Vidya. So you take us as your Sishya and you teach us through your Veda Gnana, you teach us the process, we'll learn. So Gargyana Maharshi says, you are already a Brahmajnan, but still you are humble enough to say you don't know something for which you don't know something, if you don't know something. So now he started talking about how if a person passes away, and that particular Jivatma reaches Chandraloka during Krishna Paksha, what happens? Automatically it comes back. That the Jivatma comes back. But if the Jivatma reaches Chandraloka during Sukla Paksha, two conditions. One, has the Jivatma done enough good karma without any selfishness? Has he done selfless acts, selfless punya karmas? Then okay, if not, return. So in two different cases the Jivatma has returned. Now once he returns in the form of Varsha or rain, he meets Karma Devatas. Those Karma Devatas ask him, who are you? This is the same question Ramana Maharshi posed to people. This is also the same question that Parabrahman will pose in the later parts of this particular Upanishad. So once the Karma Devatas ask, who are you? If he has the knowledge of Brahman, if he has looked at Brahmajnana, if he has been Brahma Jignasu, he will say, Ayya, I am also a Devata. But what Devata? He says, I am a Rutu Devata. But yesterday, when I said Rutu Devata, nobody asked what is a Rutu Devata.
Seasons, no?
Huh,
Related
but
to
how am
seasons.
I a seasons Devata?
Because I'm coming in the form of rain, I am related to monsoon, so hence I'm a season. I mean, that was
Okay.
my understanding.
Rutu are the seasons, like you said. The same environment, it turns hot. In the same environment, it rains. In the same environment, it gets cold. All kinds of seasons are happening in the same place. Similarly, in the same place, I came as a bird, I came as a pashu, I came as a pakshi, I came as a different thing. What is changing is my appearance of it. But inside, I am the same. I am the same thing that is there. So I am a Rutu Devata. I keep changing my structure, but to the core I am the same. So now Karma Devata says, who are you? I say, I have done tapas of Brahman. Now because I have done tapasya of Brahman, I have become a Rutu Devata. There is no difference between you and I. You are a Karma Devata, I am a Rutu Devata. But I am in my journey. Now you put me in my mother's womb, my next mother's womb, during the 12th or the 13th month, like we discussed yesterday. And then once I take birth, again teach me, again put me in a position where I'll be taught Brahma Gnana or the knowledge of Brahman in the 12th or the 13th month. So they mean to say, as soon as the child is born, teach him the Brahma Sutras or knowledge of Brahma during the 3rd, 4th or 5th months, or in Phalguna Masa or Chaitra Masa. That is the best time to teach a child that. Now, why? Why does a person have to learn about Brahma so early in age? Why doesn't he grow up, have whatever life he has, retire, and then learn, become a Brahma Jignasu? In this very chapter, they are saying, when they are talking about Manassu, what is this Manassu doing? It automatically, because of Vishaya Vasana. So, suppose you have seen a womanizer. Now, that womanizer, he has a lot of women in his life, he's enjoying, he's chilling, and all that. Now, you look at him and you say, I want that. Now, what that becomes? That becomes a strong desire within you. He is there to complete his Vishaya Vasana. Because he has such desires, he's here. He's trying to complete, don't compete. If you start competing, that becomes what? Your own Vishaya Vasana. Then again, to fulfill just that desire, you have to take another birth, have that Garbhastha Narakam. Garbhastha Narakam is staying within the womb for 9 months, and it's very hard to live there. You do Malamutra Visarjana right there, and that floats back in. It's a very harsh place to live in. And from that, you take birth. From childhood to adulthood, you again accumulate a lot of different Vishaya Vasanas, and because of what you accumulated in the past life, you achieve what you have done, what you wanted all along, and then you die. Just to have that, you take another birth. So whatever Manassu has its ways to hold on to the Vishaya Vasanas, it has its ways to get hold of other Arishad Vargas, and everything it automatically takes it. But what it cannot automatically hold on to is the Tattva of Brahman. So if you start early, if you teach early, if you learn early, that will stick a little stronger, and that will take you to where it needs to take you. Now we have spoken about the people who have returned. They have said to Karma Devata that I am so and so. I have spent so and so time in my mother's womb. I have taken so and so birth. Now, uh, based on their karma phala, they either take birth as Kitova, Patangova, Shekunirva, Shardulova, Simhova, Matsyova, Parasvava, Purushova. Meaning as an insect or a butterfly or a bird or a tiger or a lion or a fish or a wild animal or a human. Based on their karma phala, whatever they have done, whatever prarabdha karma they get, because of that they take these lives. And if they cannot answer the karma devatas, what happens? That is not given here. Maybe they go to adholokas or their journey. That's not discussed. Now we are talking about the people who have reached Chandraloka, and because they have reached Chandraloka and they are with good positive karma, now they move on to the next set of lokas. Uh, they are going from Chandraloka to Agni Loka, from there to Vayu Loka, from there to Varuna, Aditya, Indra, Prajapati Lokas. Yesterday, after this session, Doyal asked what happens to the Jivatma in these Lokas. The thing is, in the later part of the Upanishad, they discuss about Agni Upasana, Vayu Upasana or Aditya Upasana, Chandra Upasana, Indra Upasana, and all those. What happens with each of these? But what they're first saying is what happens in the most Urdhva Loka of all, that is Brahma Loka. Now in Brahma Loka, he sees a beautiful pond called Araha. Araha is nothing but Arahata, or Upasana is sadhana. Basically, sadhana, the process to uh, see why do we do sadhana? To invoke their form within ourselves. If I am doing Suryopasana, I am trying to invoke Surya within myself. So if you read certain Puranas, you'll see that certain person has gotten a permanent place in Surya Mandala, certain person has gotten a permanent place in Chandra Mandala, certain person has gotten a permanent place in Indra Loka. So based on their Upasana Bala, or based on their Karma Bala, they get these different lokas. But first they are talking about someone who has realized Brahman, someone who has been a very strong Brahma Jignasu. Now that Brahma Jignasu has reached Brahma Loka, that is the Satya Loka. Yesterday we have discussed 7 Urdhva Lokas. So the 7th is Satya Loka or the Brahma Loka. There, there is a beautiful pond or a lake called Araha. Now, this is where the metaphors start. First, he is proving his eligibility or arahata, his manassu, and in what time? Yeshtiha muhurta kala, meaning a fraction of a moment. The manassu is bathing in something called arhata. How does that arhata or eligibility come? By Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa. By these, the arhata, the eligibility, have come to him. Now, after passing that, he is going and taking a bath in Viraja Nadi. Viraja is what? The ageless. Once he has shed all his past, once he has shed all his karmas, once he has shed all his baggage, as long as he thinks, I am someone, I am Sarvajna, I will keep on bearing those, I will keep on carrying those karmas. But once I realize the Brahman, I'll become ageless. Age in the sense not of this life, of all the lives. First life, second life, third, probably a millionth. All of those put together becomes my age that I assume I have accumulated. Once that is shed, how does age flow? It flows like a river. It cannot go backwards or upwards, upstream. It keeps on flowing. But this is a magical river that stops age from flowing, meaning I have become ageless and timeless. So every karma that I have accumulated so far, it just splits into two. Like a cart splits away, like the wheels of a cart split away. The good karma, they have to go somewhere. All the good karmas that I have done from lifetimes, from my sanchita karma, whatever is accumulated, that goes to whom? The people who have been my priyam, the people who have done good to the sadhaka. And the people who have probably done harm or probably have uh, done ill to this particular Brahmajnani, they will get every kind of prarabdha karma that he had, or bad karma that he had. Now, after getting rid of all the karma, after becoming ageless, the Atman gets a stable state. Ilyaha, a Maha Vruksha called Ilyaha. Even if a Maha Vruksha moves a little, how much ruckus does it create? A lot. But this Maha Vruksha is what? It's still. So once the Atman becomes still, yesterday we discussed Annamacharya Sankirtana. అలరచంచలమైన ఆత్మనందుండడి అలవాటు చేసని ఉయ్యాల పలుమారు ఉచ్ఛ్వాస పవనమందుండ భావంబు తెలిపని ఉయ్యాల. Meaning the Atman itself is chanchalatanto unnadi. It is not stable. It is highly unstable. Whatever I let it have, it keeps taking in. Whatever I paint it with, whatever emotion I paint it with, it keeps on accepting those paints. So it is Anta chanchal, alara is blossoming. Blossoming instability is already there to my Atman, but it is getting calm. How? Through the Palumaru Uchvasa. Through the breath I take in, to the breath, through the breath I take in, through the breath I leave. Every breath I take in is Paramatma. Every breath I leave is Paramatma. Now, in this chapter, we get what that is. Uh, what how prana is Brahma. We get that. That is the main summary of Koushitaki Brahmanopanishadh. So, Annamacharya is a Mahavedanti. Yeah, everything that he has written has extreme sense of Vedanta. Now, where was I? Once the Atman gets stability, once it gets stabilized, it gets Sayujya, meaning union with Brahman. Once it has that union with Brahman, it becomes what? In Aparajita. It gets a palace or it gets a mansion called Aparajita, meaning invincible or unmovable at this point. Now, how does it exist? It becomes Vibhu on a stage called Vibhu. Vibhu meaning everlasting or permanent. It gets the Gnana he has is Vichakshana. Vichakshana is the Simhasana of Brahman. How is that Simhasana described? Is described. It is called Vichakshana. Vichakshana is wisdom or knowledge to identify what is what. Are you able to identify Brahman as the Brahman, or are you still seeing him as a person or a thing or a deity which has a form and shape and attributes? Now that is Vichakshana. And then there is a Paryanka. Paryanka means meaning a bed. A bed which is called Amitauja, meaning he is seated on unbound energy. He is the unbound energy. And how are you seeing him? Through the Devakanyas called Manasi and Chakshusi, meaning Manassu gets the ability to see. This is very important. Now, how can you see Brahman? How can you see? Not eyes. That is exactly what we are seeing. Manasi Chakshusi. Manassu gets the ability to see. It's not Chakshusi, it's Chakshusi. Manasi Chakshusi. Manassu gets the ability to see Brahman. So, what I said right now, we are accumulating, we are painting Manassu with all kinds of Arishad Vargas or Vishayavasana or desires or whatever it is. Now we have also painted Manassu with Brahman. Now this, if this becomes stronger, all the other things that we have accumulated Manassu with, they automatically get ridden. We have discussed about Gajendra Moksham yesterday. How Gajendra was captured by its leg was held by a crocodile, and how it could not get rid, and once it prayed, looked up to the formless, shapeless నిర్గుణమైన పరమాత్మ వైపు ఎప్పుడైతే తిరిగిందో, once it turned to నిర్గుణ పరమాత్మ, then Vishnumurti leaves all his attributes, Shanku Chakra Gada, Lakshmi, everything, and then he comes to rescue in the form of whom? Paramatma. So once the sadhaka looks at Paramatma as Brahman and not with attributes, once he is able to get hold of that Paramatma for what he is, Paramatma also what? Paramatma also comes to you as what he is. This is Brahma Jnana. Now, they are saying once he has gone there and Brahma says, now you have come to Brahmaloka, please take a bath in take a bath in that Sarasu. There, that Punyatma is getting a lot of Apsarasas, a lot of Apsarasas are coming to him. They are giving him tasty fruits and Madhura Dravyas, and they're doing Alankara to him as they do Alankara to Paramatma. Now he has to bathe in that Arahata. He has just seen Apsarasas, 100 of them. Now he has to do that bath called Araha. Now only and if only if he is able to get out of that illusion again, and bathe in Araha, he goes to the next place. Once he rids of his age in that river, and he goes to that Viraja Nadi, he does the Manasika Snana there, all his Papapalas and Punyapalas are left out. He also gets rid of all the Dvandvas. What are the Dvandvas? Sukha Dukkha, Papa Punya. Once look at Nirvana Shatakam. Na Punyam, na Papam. Na Saukyam, na Dukkam. Na Mantro, na Tirtham. Na Veda, na Yajnaha. Aham Bhojanam Naiva Bhojyam, na Bhokta. There is no food, there is no one eating. So all the dvandvas that are there, they leave the Atma. Now he leaves that stable Maha Vruksha, and Brahmalo unna Sugandha Chaitanyam atanilo cherukuntundi. They are not saying Brahmalo unna Sugandham ataniki antukuntundi. They are not saying the scent of Gandha gets and accumulates to that Atma. They are saying Sugandha Chaitanya comes to him. What is the Sugandha is basically beautiful scent of Chandan. What is the property of a Sugandha? It spreads across. What is the Tattva of Brahman? It is already spread across. Spread across where? Everywhere. That Chaitanya, that property of having spread everywhere like a Sugandha, it comes and becomes a part of this person. Once it becomes stable. చంచలము కానీ ఆత్మకి ఇది అంటుకుంటుంది. కాదు, దిస్ ఈస్ అ బ్యూటిఫుల్ థింగ్. I don't know if you are able to feel it, but now he reaches that Sayujya and to the fort of Aparajita, meaning something that is invincible, something that doesn't have death. There Brahma Tejasu reaches him, and he goes to that stage called Vibhu, and then Vibhu is everlasting. Once he gets to that everlasting stage, and then um, he sees the Brahma Simhasana called Vichakshana, and he sees the Paryanka called Amitauja, meaning unbound energy. Once he witnesses this, once he experiences this, that's when Brahma Tejasu gets into himself. Now they're saying he's seeing a Paryanka. That Paryanka, that bed itself is Prana. That Prana. Okay. That Prana, whatever bed we have discussed, the unbound energy, that unbound energy is what we are saying is Prana. In the first Upanishad, we have discussed how does the Prana live in the human body. In the navel, where is it? What is it? It is some Vayu. What Vayu?
Apana Vayu.
Excellent. It resides as the Apana Vayu in the Nabi. Once that leaves, there is no Prana. So that is Brahman. This Upanishad is saying that is nothing other than the Brahman. That becomes the Paryanka. What is that Paryanka? It is called Amitauja. Amitauja is unbound energy. That unbound energy, meaning unbound is what? There is no limit to that energy. Meaning the prana that is within us, it is unbound. The Paramatma that is within us in the form of prana, that is unbound. Once you look at it as an experience, that bed called prana, it has 4 legs. It is based on 4 legs. You can already imagine what those 4 legs are. There is a cot, there is a bed, and that is called prana, which itself is Parabrahma. It stays on 4 legs. What are those 4? Bhuta Bhavishyatu. The forward 2 legs are past and future. Why is it not present? This is again very higher philosophy. The reason why I didn't come to this part yesterday. This is too high philosophy. Prana is based on past and future. Why is it not based on present?
Because whatever we are in the present is a result of what we are in the past.
Now, whatever we are in the present is a result of the past. Then why is it talking about the future?
Because whatever we are doing in the future, we can change that.
What is prana? What is? Am I audible?
Yeah.
The rest of you, yeah. What is prana? See, last week also we discussed some Upanishad. We discussed Aitari Upanishad, right? Show me that Sarvajna. Dead. Every second, every minutest of the second, you're shedding your body. We think death comes once. But once a moment has passed, that particular person has passed. So your prana is consistently leaving and it's consistently taking birth again. 5 minutes later, how I am, where I am, show me that. It has not taken, that Sarvajna has not taken birth yet. Just 1 hour ago, once we started this session, show me that person. Dead. So the prana is consistently leaving in the past, taking birth in the future. ప్రతి క్షణం మృత్యు వస్తూనే ఉంది, ప్రతి క్షణం పుట్టుక తీసుకుంటూనే ఉంది. So it is based on these two in the front. The paryanka called prana is based on two forward legs called bhuta and bhavishyat. The back two, they are called sampada and ahara. 5 minutes back or 1 week back, the Sarvajna that there was there, he is not present. But he had some sampada called laptop and he had some sampada called mic that is with him now. Sampada carries forward, Sarvajna doesn't carry forward. And ahara, the food that the prani takes in, that is what moves life forward. That is what sheds the past. That is what takes the future. So based on bhuta, bhavishyat, sampada and ahara, this prana called Paramatma is there. And the head of this prana is Bhadra Yagna Yagalu. Yajnas and yagas are the head of this. And బృహద్ రథంతర సామాలు రెండు ఇరుప్రక్కల ఉండే కర్రలు. If you have any idea of the old cots that used to be there, they used to have they used to have those sticks on the either side of the bed to hang that mosquito net or whatever. So they are saying in Samaveda, will even I try to look at what Bruhad Radhantara Samas are, but the general explanation I got is Bruhad and Radhantara are the two important sections of Samaveda. So they are being the supportive sticks on either side of this cot. And the cot has that side elevations, right, on the either side. Not to that's the projection on the either side. So that becomes Yajassu, the mantras of Yajurveda. And Somalata meaning creepers are his asana. And then Udgita meaning the songs that are derived from Samaveda. This Udgita is his pillows. Now on such a austere Divya Paryanka on prana, you see Brahma Deva, the personified form of Parabrahma. Let's say he is the personified form of Parabrahma. Now This Punyatma, he has crossed so many levels of tests. He has reached Parabrahma, and there, once he reaches Brahma, or the personified form of Parabrahma. Now the Parabrahman asks, who are you? When he dropped as a papi, or when he dropped as someone who went there in Sukla Paksha, the Karma Devatas asked, who are you? Now he has crossed all the uh, levels, he has crossed all the tests put on by Parabrahman, and he has reached Brahman. Now what is Brahman asking? The same question. Who are you? What is the ultimate question you should ask yourself? Who am I? This is what Ramana Maharshi teaches. I cannot be defined as a name or a person or a gender or any of those. Can I just remove my name or any part of my body or my gender or my any of my identities, and then say that I am dead? What is it that is being active and alive and conscious within this body? That is what the sadhaka is supposed to realize. Now Parabrahman asks, who are you? ఆ ప్రశ్నకి ఈ విధంగా పుణ్యాత్ముడు సమాధానం చెప్తాడు. ద సాధక ఇస్ రెస్పాండింగ్ దిస్ వే. బ్రహ్మదేవ, నేను ఋతుదేవుని. ఋతుధర్మంతో నాకు సన్నిహితంగా సంబంధం ఉంది. హీ సేయింగ్ టు బ్రహ్మదేవ దట్ ఐ ఆమ్ అ ఋతుదేవత. జస్ట్ యాజ్ ఋతుస్ ఆర్ ద సీజన్స్ కీప్ చేంజింగ్, I have also done the same I have also done the same thing. I have a very close association with the Rutus. I have from Akasa, I have turned into Shukla or Retasu and entered as Trigarbha. Now I have been all kinds of Jivatmas in that process. What all Jivatmas we have discussed? If he has reached Parabrahman, he must have crossed all these states. Kitakova, Mukitova, Patangova, Shakunirva, Shardulova, Simhova, Matsyova, Parasharva, Purushova. All kinds of life beings, I have been that. Being what? Being a Rutu Devata. Having a close association with Rutu. This is again high-end philosophy. He's saying, I've shed so many bodies like an environment sheds its seasons. It keeps changing seasons. I kept changing bodies. I am a Rutu Devata. Now, Nilaga Nenu Kuda Atmane. He's a Nuvelli. Ante, imagine you go to Brahmadeva and you say, you are Atman, I am Atman. I mean, being a normal human being a small person, if I really see Paramatma today, I cannot say you and I are the same. Yeah, Kantu.
So I was watching. See, I am a very. No, I'm a person who is scared of darkness and going out in dark and all this. Okay. I'm so scared that I don't even drink water in the nights because I may have to wake up for bio breaks in the night, and I don't have that heart to wake up. So that is my state of mind, and that is my that is me. One day I was hearing this one of the pravachans of Siddheswara Bharati Swami. Okay. So first I'll tell in Telugu because most Telugu people are here. So in
Aditi has no idea.
So you know Totapuri Maharaj. Totapuri Maharaj is the guru of Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Okay. So he asked Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, I heard you went to some smashana to do some sadhana. So where is that? So Ramakrishna Paramahamsa told him that this is in this place. So he went and sat for his sadhana. He took his dhuni. Dhuni is like they carry some fire with them always. They have in their sampradaya. So when he sits in the smashana and does his sadhana, he suddenly sees one Bhishana Murti, one figure which is, of course, in smashana you can't expect people to be soft and sweet, right? Obviously expect those how they are supposed to be, and it is like, even it is so scary and it is so huge. Bhishana is the word which is being used. So that comes and says, who are you, what are you doing? He says, I'm Totapuri, my Sishya was here, so I also came for it. Then he says, you're not supposed to be here. No, sir, who are you? He says, I am Bhairava. So what are you doing here? He says, I'm the one here. So I own this place. So he says, okay, then fine, give me permission to sit. You also sit and do whatever sadhana you want. He says, are you not scared of me? He says, no, why should I be scared? And he says, why should you not be scared? His question is, Totapuri Maharaj says, why should I be scared of you? Then Bhairava asks, why should you not be scared of me? He says, Bhagavan is Nirgunakara and I worship the Nirgunakara. And you are the Saguna Abhivyaktikarana of the Nirgunakara. That means you have taken a form of the formless and you are present there. Even I am also a form of that formless. However, I am very tiny when compared to your power. You are more big. You are more big and you have more power. And I am very small and I have very less power. But you and I are the same manifestation of the. We are the same manifestation of the formless in certain form. So my job here is to manifest myself into that unmanifest. That's what Swami Vivekananda also tells eventually. Manifest the unmanifest divinity, which is manifest the divinity which is unmanifest within yourself. That is nothing but that came from Ramakrishna Paramahamsa and that came from Todapuri Maharaj. He says you are the Saguna Nirguna Parabrahmam యొక్క సగుణ అభివ్యక్తీకరణము నువ్వు నేను కూడా అటువంటి సగుణ అభివ్యక్తీకరణనే కాబట్టి నువ్వు అంటే నాకు భయం లేదు అని. Then he says, okay, fine, I understood what you are. Please continue with your sadhana. And Bhairava goes back. When I heard this, I should say at least more than 99% of my fear is gone. And exactly after a few days, I went with Sarvagya, the man who couldn't even wake up to pee in the nights. The same man was present in Purvapuram under a big banyan tree where there is no human. At 2 p.m. in the night, midnight 2 p.m., there was no man could be seen there. I was all alone under the banyan tree. To complete darkness, and I was having biscuits and roaming around that place. So if I told this, if I said this to my friends that I went to a place in the night, I was roaming freely, none of my best friends believed me. They say we will believe you if you lifted an elephant, but we won't believe you that saying that you went out in the night and was there. But that's a fact. So the same thing what you're saying is a manifestation of the unmanifest in certain form. So, నిర్గుణమైన పరబ్రహ్మము యొక్క సగుణ అభివ్యక్తీకరణను నీవు, అటువంటి సగుణ అభివ్యక్తీకరణనే నేను కూడా అంటారు.
So this Jivatma went to Parabrahma and he said, just like you, I am also an Atman. Meaning he is saying there is no difference between you and me. He really said that to Paramatma. Now Brahmadeva is asking, Acha, you are me, then who am I? He has to answer who Brahma is, Parabrahman is. So he says, you are Satyatma, meaning you are the only true form of Atma. See, first he said, I am a Rutu Devata. I have very close association with Rutus. I have very close association with seasons. Like seasons do, I have also shed so many bodies. From Akasa, I went as a Varsha, and from Varsha I became food, and because of food I turned into Shukla or Retasu, and I entered a mother's womb. From there I took life of different beings, different characharas, and like Rutus I shed every one of those bodies. Now I have come here. You have also been every Atma that is there in every Jivi. So I have also taken every Jivatma's birth. So you and I are the same. Acha. So you and I are the same. Then who am I? He is saying you are the Satyatma. Satyatma being the only true form of Atma. What is the true form? So Brahma is asking, who is that Satyatma or what is that Satyatma? The Punyatma, or the person who has gone there, responds with, Indriya Devatalu Pranavayuve Kadu, Idi Satyam. In Aitariya Upanishad, we learned about Indriya Devatas. Through eyes come vision, and through vision comes Surya. Through mouth comes Vak, and from Vak comes Agnihi. So we have gotten all those Indriya Devatas within us. All these, and there is a Prana Vayu. Are these the only form of Satyatma? No. And that is the truth. He's saying, సమస్త జగత్తు సత్య స్వరూపమే, నీవు కూడా జగత్ స్వరూపుడవే. సో if I think that only the Indriya Devatas or the prana that is there within me is Satyatma, that cannot be true. Including these, everything that is there around, every minute part of creation that there is everywhere, that is Satyatma. Meaning whatever is outside, whatever is inside, all put together is Satyatma. So నీవు కూడా జగత్ స్వరూపుడివే అని సమాధానం చెప్తాడు పుణ్యాత్ముడు. సో బ్రహ్మ is saying, ఆపోరూపులైన నా పురుష రూపం గురించి నీవు ఎలా తెలుసుకున్నావు? హౌ డిడ్ యూ రియలైజ్ ద మేల్ ఫార్మ్స్ ఆఫ్ మై సెల్ఫ్ త్రూ ద ఆపోరూప? In the first Aitharaya Upanishad, we spoke about this ఆపోరూప. ఆపలోకాన్ని సృష్టించాడు. ఏదైతే the thought of Brahman to create that flew around as a apa, that aporupa is Purusha Tattva. I told you, from above this Purusha Tattva come all this three Tattva which become the Brahmandas. How did you realize the Purusha Rupas that have come out of my Aporupa? If you have not read Aitharaya Upanishad and if you have not linked to that Aporupa through which the Virat Purusha comes out, you cannot understand this part. He is asking, how did you realize the male forms of myself which have come from my Aporupa? Apo meaning fluid, my fluid form. We have discussed the entire creation. The thought of Brahman becomes the male. The creation itself, the meaning the Brahmandas, become the female. Unless these both exist, or unless these both coexist, there is no creation. So he is asking, how did you find my Purusha Rupas? He is saying, I found out your male forms through my Prana Vayu and Swasa. There are Dasa Vayus. In those Prana, Apana, Vyana, Udana, all these Vayus are there. Through my Prana Vayu, which I am inhaling and exhaling, I have learnt your Aparupa or male forms. This again comes into the Uchvasa, Nichvasa, what do you call that? They say pranayama, but this Uchvasa, Nishvasa is also called Kali Sadhana. Neeku gurtunte Dasmaha Vidyallo. So through inhaling and exhaling consciously, I realized your male form. Now he is asking, how did you realize my female forms? Vak. I realized your female forms through Vak. Again, in the first chapter, first Upanishad, Aitharaya Upanishad, Doyle, you are listening, right? From our Aitharaya Upanishad, what did we learn? Vak is Pranavamu. What is the other form of Pranavam? Tara. This Pranava, through the Shabda, through the Vak, I have realized your feminine forms. Brahma. How did you find my genderless form? Napumsaka Rupaanni ela telusukunnava? Meaning, how did you find my form which has no attributes? How did you find my form which has no which has that nirgunatva? How did you find that nirguna rupa of myself? Meaning the true form of myself. How did you find it? You already know the answer. How do you find the true form of Brahman? Through what?
Manasu.
Manassu. So the Jivatma is saying, Manassu dwara telusukunnanu. I have learnt of your formless nirguna tattva with my Manassu. This becomes the ultimate answer to finding Brahman. So you may look at Brahman in certain forms, what Srikant just said, either as Bhairava or Shiva or Vishnu or whatever name or attribute you give him, through whatever sadhana. But the only thing that can catch hold of his true form or true sense of Paramatma is through Manassu. That is the only thing that can reach there. So now Brahma is again putting him and trying to put him into Maya. He's asking, how did you realize my vasanas or my scents? Why is he asking? How did you realize my scents? Because he just said everything that there is Parabrahman. The entire creation is Parabrahman. So I realized your sense through my nose. I realized your forms through my eyes. I realized your sounds through my ears. I realized your uh, taste with my tongue. I realized your. I realized my actions for you through my hands. I realized your form of sukha. I realized your form of dukkha through my body, and then I realized ఈ ఆనందాన్ని రతి సుఖాన్ని ఎలా తెలుసుకున్నావు? How did you realize the joys or conjugal things? He's saying I realized them through Jananendriya. He's saying even that is Parabrahma. Sukhaన్ని ఎలా తెలుసుకున్నావు? How did you find sukha? He's saying uh, through my Jananendra. He's saying, how did you look where I was? He's saying through his legs. Sankalpanni, korikalni ఎలా తెలుసుకున్నావు? How did you find your sankalpas? How did you find your desires? He's saying, I found them through my buddhi and prajna. So everything that there is, start from sense, appearances, everything that there is, all my karmendriyas, all my jnanendriyas, I used them to find you. But finally, how did I find you? With my manassu. How did I realize your true form? With my manassu. So now Parabrahman is saying, ఈ జల రూపంలో ఉన్న ఈ ప్రపంచం అంతా నాదే, ఇది మీది కూడా. సో whatever is apaha, whatever came out of apaha, in Aitareya Upanishad we learned that every part of creation came from apaha, that male thought of Brahman which flew as a mercury. That's what I keep saying. It's not literal mercury. So everything that came out of that apaha is mine, and it's also yours because you have realized both of us are the same. The entire creation is of Brahma or Brahman, and those who are realizing this, those who are experiencing this, they are also Brahma. Yeah, Aditi.
Brahma and Brahman are different. Are we going by that, right? Brahma, this right now you are addressing as Brahman or you are addressing as Brahma?
Brahman, the
Brahman, right?
Paramatma.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
So everything that has come out of apa is mine, meaning the entire creation is mine. But you have realized Brahman, so this is also yours. The entire creation itself is Brahman, and whoever is realizing this is becoming Brahman himself. Meaning, once you attain that Brahma Jnana on an experiential level, not just by discussing in the classroom, once you attain that at an experiential level, you are becoming Brahman. You are Brahman itself. So this person has gone to Brahma Loka, he has gone to the Urdhva Loka of all, he has passed all the tests, he's got his Arahata, he became indestructible, he became everlasting, he saw the prana, and to that prana he is talking, which is nothing but unbound energy. He goes there and he says, I am you. You and I are the same. So you go to someone's house and say, I have equal authority on your house as much as you do. That cannot happen unless you are the other person. You are the person you are talking to. And this is what is happening in this particular scenario. So all this, who is explaining to whom? Gargyayana Maharshi is explaining to Aruni. Aruni is also called Gautama Maharshi. From Aitareya Upanishad, we got the Brahma Sutra called Prajnanam Brahma. What is Prajnana? The knowledge of Brahman itself is Brahma. This is the first Brahma Sutra we got from Aitariya Upanishad. Now Koushitaki Brahmanopanishadh is saying Prano Brahmeti. Prano Brahmeti. This one line is Koushitaki Brahmanopanishadh. We don't need to discuss anything else. Prano Brahmeti. Meaning Pranavayuve Brahmaswarupamu. Whatever Pranavayu is there within everybody, that is Brahmaswarupa. Whatever is the life within us, that is Brahma. What Annamacharya said as Palumaru Uchvasa Pavanamandunda Bhavambu Telipani Vayala. He has realized Brahman through the inhalations and exhalations that he is taking and realizing and getting that stability. He is saying you are Brahman. Through your form of inhalations and exhalations, I am getting stability. That is your Uyala. Once I inhale, you are swinging. Once I exhale, you are swinging. That becomes his Kirtana. Now, what we need to extract from it is Prano Brahmeti. The Pranavayu itself is Brahma. In the first Aitariya Upanishad, we discussed how the Prana is behind, the Mrityu is behind Apanavayu. Right? Aditi.
So I actually had a question. I was just waiting for you to, conclude this one thing. You said we discussed that Apanavayu is the form through which the God is residing in us, right? At the navel
Mrityu,
point.
Mrityu. Mrityu.
Apanavayu is Mrityu.
Mrityu.
Acha, okay. And then, so what we discussed, the Tripura, there the divine is residing.
See, from his Nabhi came Apanavayu, from Apanavayu came Mrityu. And that entered the human in the form of Apanavayu residing in Nabhi. That's where Mrityu Devata is.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Now, Jivatma, the Jivi was not able to decide which Indriya to use for what. He was using Karmendriyas for Gnana, Gnanendriyas for Karma. So he
Yeah,
himself
that
came
was
into,
clear.
who came into the body through Vidruti?
The divine.
Paramatma himself.
Right.
Virat Purusha himself. Now Virat Purusha is moving between here, here and here.
The Tripura,
Jagrut,
right.
Swapna, Sushupti. So that is not Apanavayu.
ठीक है, got it.
Apanavayu exits through any of the Navarandhras that the humans have.
Right. ठीक है.
That becomes Mrityu.
Right.
That is how
got it.
Mrityu comes. Or Mrityu leaves, I don't know at this point. Whether Mrityu
Yeah,
comes
leaves
or Mrityu
actually.
leaves. Sorry?
It leaves actually, it leaves
Right.
through these points, yeah.
సో ప్రాణవాయువే బ్రహ్మస్వరూపము. ఈ విషయాన్ని కౌశితకి బ్రాహ్మణం చెప్తున్నది. ప్రాణరూపంగా ఉన్న బ్రహ్మమే సంకల్పాత్మకమైన మనస్సు అవుతోంది. అదే మాట్లాడడానికి అవసరమైన వాగీంద్రియం అవుతోంది. నౌ హీ సేయింగ్ దిస్ ప్రాణవాయు దట్ ఈస్ ఎంటరింగ్ అండ్ ఎగ్జిటింగ్ కన్సిస్టెంట్లీ, దట్ ఈస్ బ్రహ్మ. Who is what is this pranavayu becoming? It's becoming the energy behind or the Shakti behind every other indriya. Meaning, it is the thing that is giving the ability to see, to perceive, to listen, to taste, to smell. All of these are happening because of pranavayu, which is nothing but Brahma. So, whoever is able to realize this, whoever is able to realize that prano brahmeti, everything that they want, the Devatas come and give. Everything that they need to have in their journey, the Devatas have to, they themselves come and give to the pranis. This is again an intricate thing to try and understand. So, all the Devatas are already within. All the Devatas, and this person has realized prano brahmeti. The prana that is within me itself is Brahma. The life within me is Brahma. The prana vayu that is coming into me and going out of me is Brahma. So whoever has realized that prano brahmeti, whoever has realized that the life force within me is Brahma, whatever he needs to finish his journey, whatever he needs to go forward in his journey towards Brahman, all the devatas, they come and give him whatever he needs. They are saying here, Akhandamaina Sampadalni. Akhanda is what? Limitless, endless. What is limitless, endless Sampada? What is limitless, endless richness? The understanding of Brahman. అలాగే ప్రాణబ్రహ్మానికి కూడా జీవులందరూ తమ సంపదల్ని ఇచ్చి పూజలు చేస్తారు. This part is again taking us to perform karmas. So you have realized prano brahmeti, the prana itself is Brahma, and around you there are many pranas, right? Around this particular body there are many forms of pranas. In Doyal there is prano brahmeti, in Aditi there is prano brahmeti, in Srikant there is prano brahmeti. Every life force that I am seeing throughout the day, that has that prano brahmeti. If I say only my body has that prana and only that is Brahma, that becomes ahankara. Only the person who is within me is Parabrahma, and whoever else is there, they're just normal human beings. That doesn't become pragnana, that becomes ajnana. So now whoever is able to see that prana, otherwise called Brahma, in every living being that there is around, he respects them and he helps them equally. ఆ జీవులందరూ తమ సంపదల్ని ఇచ్చి పూజలు చేస్తారు. He is giving whatever he can to other pranas to help them reach the journey. So this is why annadana is very important. For any kind of sadhana, annadana is important. Why? Because you are recognizing the Brahman that is within the other person. Why do we do namaskara? To whom are you doing namaskara? Aditya.
The divine who resides inside each of us, we are basically praising
That,
or showing
yes,
gratitude.
we do namaskara to the person opposite us, not because he is human, not because he has flaws, not because he has arishat vargas, not because he has vishayavasana, all these things, but because of prano brahmeti. Even the prana within him is Brahma. That is why namaskara. That is why annadana. That is why if someone is suffering from illness, in ancient times at least, our ancestors at least, used to go out of their way to help those people. This is why it is important to take care of other beings as well, as much as you can. It doesn't mean you sell your house, you sell your ancestral properties, and you just give it away to everybody saying prano brahmeti, prano brahmeti. That doesn't become that completely becomes senseless. As much as you can afford, as much as you can, you need to respect other life forms, because that is also Brahman. If you remember, if you have listened to your elders, they would have said, if there is some pregnant lady, do give something that she wants to eat. Why? There is a new life force coming out. That is the purest form of Brahma. So offer something to her. సో ఇలా ఈ ఉపనిషత్తుని బాగా అర్థం చేసుకున్నవాడు ఏ రకంగా ఎవరిని యాచించకూడదు. Someone who has understood that the prana within him or within her is Brahma should never ever go and beg for something. Should never ever go and ask for something freely. And It also means someone who has realized prano brahmeti need not go and beg someone for something. One, he should not do that. Two, he need not do that. If he is begging someone for something, someone who has realized prano brahmeti, someone who is seeing every life force as Brahman, he is making Parabrahma go and beg for something. How come that is sensible? If Doyle.
So I've read stories with Gautama Buddha. They tell his disciples, you have to go and you have to beg for food. So how does that relate to this? I mean, that standard practices the Brahmin cannot eat until he can only eat whatever he has been donated. So he has to beg for that.
Even
So
in, not just in Buddhism, even in Sanatana Dharma, there is a practice of going out and taking alms. Satbrahmana used to go, and Satbrahmana in the sense, not Brahmanatva achieved by being born to a different Brahman. బ్రహ్మజ్ఞానం కోసం పరితపించేవాడు బ్రాహ్మణుడు. That's the textbook definition or the technical definition of a brahmana. So whoever is a Brahma Jignasu, we'll discuss in the rest part of this Upanishad. He has to do certain Agni Karyas, Agni Upasana. He has to do Chandropasana. He has to do Suryopasana. Suryopasana becomes a part of Sandhya Vandana, Trikala Sandhya Vandana, all these things. Whoever is doing that, he's seeing all the other life forms as Brahma. So that just that becomes his dharma to go on. It doesn't become uh, uh, yachana. It doesn't become begging. It becomes collecting the karmas of others, whatever little he can. Through his upasana, through his sadhana, he's supposed to eat the karma that he has got from outside and then do his rituals. So nitya naimittika karma, right? You can come out and speak na Kantu. నువ్వు కూడా కెమెరా ఆఫ్ చేసుకొని మెసేజ్లు పెట్టి.
I just had food, and immediately after having food, I go into the bed.
Okay.
It's not complete.
Okay, done. So that's a different thing. Taking karmic food is different thing, but the person who is seeing prano brahmeti for what it is, he should not go and beg for things. He should not go and beg for food just to quench his hunger. The sannyasis who are taking bhiksha, they are not taking food for to survive. They are taking food. They are taking your karma. We have that saying, Annadanam Mahadanam. Go ahead.
thought that people they want to shed their karmas so as to realize the Paramatma faster. So why would they want to take on karmas through this food?
We just discussed Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. It reduces your karma. Your sadhana reduces your karma. We'll talk about how the karma sheds through sadhanas and all that. The example of Vidyaranya Swami Srikant, you know that. We'll just talk about it at a later part of this session. Aditi, you had something to ask.
So no, just to add to your point, what Doyal was asking about, as all of us follow Sanatan Dham to the best of our knowledge, in Sanatan Dham, everything that we do, everything that happens has multiple reasons. There are no one reason for something, right? So the thing that you were saying, ki the monks or the Brahmins would go for bhiksha. Basically, it was called bhiksha. So when the gurukuls were there, everybody, every child in the gurukul was supposed to do this bhiksha thing so that they get away from the ego. the ego that we have usually. So this process, it's like during the entire course of Gurukul, this was also in their curriculum, I would say, and this would help them get rid of the ego that they have. So that was the purpose why this was done for all the children in the Gurukuls.
True, true. And bhiksha is not equivalent to begging or yachana. Bhiksha is a swadharma of brahmacharis, and also the what do you call brahmana dharmam kuda, sannyasa dharmam all as well. Now coming to this Vidyaranya Swami, every day he used to do. Vidyaranya Swami is the Peethadipati, was the Peethadipati of Sringeri Peetham. He was the one who established uh, Vijay, Vijayanagar Samrajyam, the Krishnadevaraya lineage. So he was the one who established that kingdom, and he was in Varanasi. He was doing Gayatri mantra, and he was not experiencing any results right away. So then he went on to do Bhairava Sadhana. He sat in Kasi. He was doing Bhairava Sadhana, and because he was a Gayatri Upasaka, Bhairava didn't come directly to him. He stayed back, spoke in his ear, and asked, who are you, and why are you doing my sadhana?" So Vidyaranya Swami says, "I have been doing Gayatri Mantra Japa, but I did not find any results instantly. But your sadhana is giving me some experiences. So I am trying to look at you." Now Bhairava laughs, and he just shows Vidyaranya Swami a different locale in front of him. There were multiple mountains of something, and they were all burning away. Huge mountains. So Bhairava Swami says, "See that mountain back there, that was your Brahmahatya Pataka. Brahmahatya Pataka comes from either not protecting a cow from dying, or either directly killing a cow, or directly killing a Sat Brahmana who does all these upasanas mentioned here. So that mountain right there is your Brahmahatya Pataka. That's getting burnt away from your accumulated karma through your Gayatri Upasana. You are thinking it's not happening, but your Upasanas are capable enough to burn away your karmas. How do they burn? Like we discussed, either by actively going through your karma phala, or passively going through your karma phala. Jagrut, Swapna, Sushupti avasthas. Prarabdha karma has to be born, but Sanchita karma, you can wash it away through when you become Brahma Jignasu. So, anyway, that's how sadhanas and people who are doing sadhana, they shed their accumulated karma, not done karma, accumulated, gotten from someone else or some other lives, or all those. So, but one thing to not forget is prarabdha karma has to be born. Meaning, even Ramana Maharshi, he had to bear that sarcoma during his last days. So, whoever understands the core essence of this Upanishad, Prano Brahmeti, should not beg something from anyone. If he even begs for an entire village and gets it as a donation or something, as free money or freely possessed thing, he'll still not be able to get food, or he'll not even be able to get food, meaning he'll not be able to sustain. So whoever leaves that habit of trying to get something freely out of others, having realized Prano Brahmeti, he'll be respected everywhere. And on the other hand, Pranam Brahmaswarupamu. So Gargyayana Muni is telling Aruni Maharshi that Aruni Pranam Brahmaswarupam. Brahmaswarupanga ఉన్న ప్రాణాన్ని పైంగ్యము అంటారు. The prana which is nothing but the Brahma, is called Paingyaha. Now coming out of this Upanishad, taking a link from somewhere else, we'll just exit this one moment and then come back. Ujjwal, if he was there, he would have understood what I'm saying. There is a book called Sripada Srivallabha Charitamritam. It's a book discussing about Datta Parampara. So in that it talks about Paingya Brahmanya which lives in Shambhala. We have different kinds of Brahmana acharalu, Brahmana paramparas in the society that we are living. But there is something called Paingya Brahmanya which lives in Shambhala. So for them, they say the Kali Yuga ends in 5,000 years. But for us, Kali Yuga ends in 4,32,000 years. So our 4,32,000 years is equivalent to 5,000 years in Shambhala. Meaning, whatever we are experiencing in 4,32,000 years, or for us, the kind of Kali Yuga that there is in 5,000 years here. Right now, we have completed 5,000 years of Kali Yuga. That you know, Sri Krishna Niryana happened around 5,000 years ago, and then there was a Sandhi Kala, and 5,000 years have passed after Kali Yuga has begun, or 5,000 years have passed after Sri Krishna Niryana. So, whatever we experience as 5,000 years of Kali Yuga right now, they will experience it as 5,000 years of Kali Yuga when we are at the end of it, meaning 4,32,000 years. In other words, the effect of Kali Yuga is as minimal as 5,000 years of it here, even after 4,32,000 years in Shambhala. Still not clear? It's a little complicated. So, let's say by today we have finished. Yeah, Aditi.
It's like for the US people, suppose it is $1, but in exchange rate for India it is around 100 rupees. So for them it is 1, for us it is 100. So for Shambhala it is 5,000. 5,000 years for Shambhala is equal to 4,32,000 years.
No. That's not what I'm saying. కలి ప్రభావం ఎంత ప్రబలితుంది అంటే ఇక్కడ మనకు 4,32,000 సంవత్సరాలు అతి క్లిష్టంగా మారుతుంది. కానీ అక్కడ 4,30,000 సంవత్సరాలు అయినప్పటికీ ఇక్కడ 5,000 సంవత్సరాల ఫలం ఎంత ఉంటుందో అక్కడ అంతే ఉంటుంది.
అంటే ప్రెసెంట్
అంతకన్నా తీవ్రం కాదు.
ఇప్పుడు బేసిక్ గా ఇప్పుడు ఎంత అయిందో ఇప్పుడు ఎంత ఉందో అంతే కనిపిస్తుంది వాళ్ళకి. ఎందుకంటే మనకి
చివరికి
యాక్చువల్ ఇప్పుడు స్టార్ట్ అయింది. యాక్చువల్ కలియుగ జస్ట్ స్టార్టెడ్. ద ఇంపాక్ట్ ఆఫ్ కలియుగ జస్ట్ స్టార్టెడ్. 5 lakh. It is like 5 lakh. Add 3121 to the present year, then that gives you the correct age of Kali-yuga.
Right. So I am saying in Shambhala there is a sect called Paingya Brahmanya. Why I need to say all this is Paingya Brahmanya means the people who look at prana as Brahma. That is Paingya. Now, but this prana is staying as Antaryami, meaning it is a part of it. It is subliminal. It cannot be seen. This is what is making the jiva speak here and all those which I just said. Like this, ఇలా ఈ ఉపనిషత్ సారాన్ని తెలుసుకున్న వాళ్ళు లోకంలో ఎవరిని ఏమి ఆచించరు, యాచించాల్సిన అవసరం ఉండదు. ఈ ఉపనిషత్తును పఠించిన తర్వాత అతడు తిరిగి అక్కడికే వెళ్ళిన తర్వాత వారంతా అతన్ని ఎంతో గౌరవిస్తారు. మీనింగ్ సమ్వన్ హూ హాజ్ రియలైజ్డ్ దట్ Prano Brahma is respected everywhere. Meaning who is seeing Brahma everywhere obviously respects everybody as Brahma. He gets the same respect. Just 1 second. ఇతడు ఎవరిని యాచించకుండానే ఆ గ్రామంలోని ధార్మికులంతా అతడికి కావాల్సినవి ఇచ్చి గౌరవించడానికి పోటీ పడుతుంటాడు. లోకం యాచన చేసి జీవించే స్థితి రాకుండా ఉండటం ఎంతో గొప్ప విషయం. I said he should not beg for free things. At the same time, he need not beg for free things. He already knows his prana is Brahma. He already knows the person in front of him has that prana, and that prana is also Brahma. Now, why does he have to beg? If you know the universe is already there to help you, why do you need to ask for help? That is what this means by the end of the day. Right? Aditya.
So, two questions I had. One is that the time difference that we were talking about, 4,25,000 and 5,000 years, is it because of the time difference? Like we have in different lokas, the time length of time is different. One
No.
was that question. And second was that by any chance, do any of us know this 4,25,000 is exactly the time units we follow, or is it something else? Because the way I am seeing things, the Kali Yuga is growing like in madness. So, do we really have to see like 4 lakh years? Is like way too much.
No, the problem is you haven't seen even the motion poster or even the, it's just the idea of Kali Yuga what we are seeing it. It's like on pen. If it is Kali Yuga, I haven't written K completely. One full line I drew. I did not even complete the K of Kali Yuga. So if you really want to know what happens in the pinnacle of Kali Yuga, it is like horrible. That we will discuss sometime later. I'll put a message in WhatsApp to you.
There's one video I saw on YouTube which describes all the different things which happen in Kali. If you find it, I'll share it with you.
Okay, okay.
Yeah. So Aditi, since we both belong to the same industry, let me put it this way. They have just announced the project. They have not given the title yet. They have not released posters. They have not given the teaser. They have not released the trailer, and picture abhi baki hai. So it's Kali Yuga is like that. Um, so anyway, coming to your first question, no, I'm not talking about time being slow in Shambhala. What, from my understanding, it just means Kali Prabhava is not as severe in Shambhala as it is here. In 4,32,000 years of Kali Yuga, everything that is dharmic is supposed to diminish in our place, wherever we are. But in Shambhala, as little as we are experiencing Kali Yuga right now, they may experience it at the end of Kali Yuga. That's what I mean to say.
Okay, got it.
Anything else?
No,
So,
thanks.
so basically, Kali Yuga is supposed to be for 4,30,000 years, and twice that is Dwapara Yuga. Thrice of Kali Yuga is Treta Yuga. 4 times of Kali Yuga is Satya Yuga or Krita Yuga. But how exactly do we calculate it? Do we calculate it in human years, or there is another concept where the a person is given, say, 100 years of life. Now that doesn't mean the person lives for 100 years. How many ever uchvas and ishvasas are he's supposed to take in that particular duration, he'll live for that long. Meaning, if he takes breath slowly and he uses his breath count for 120 years, he'll live that long. If he uses within 60 years, he'll live for that long. So, can we calculate everybody that is supposed to take birth and everybody that is supposed to live for a certain time period and their ushvas and ishvasas? And if everybody, based on that, it is 4,30,000 years, I don't know. Or if it is just human years, we don't know. Or if it is some other calculation, we don't know. So, just let's do Hare Rama, Hare Krishna and move on. And before we get to that 4,30,000 years, let's try to be a proper Brahma Jignasu and go to Brahmaloka and say, Brahman, you and I are the same. And just stay there. So that is the easier route than trying to calculate the end game of Kali Yuga. So now Gargyayana Maharshi is telling Aruni about the other lokas. He has talked about what happened to the Brahmajnani that reached Brahmaloka and he has attained Brahmajnana. He has said, you and I are the same. So there is no difference between us. He has achieved that stable, unmovable, unbreakable, boundless energy form and he has become Brahman. So now he is talking about the other Divya Lokas that the Atma goes through, what Doyle had doubt yesterday. So to have Sayuja in those lokas, he's talking about how people do different upasanas. One is Agni Upasana. How is Agni Upasana? He has to do different Agni Karyas. He has to do Yajnas and Yagas. Either the Yajnas and Yagas have to happen on Paurnami or Amavasya, or it can happen on any Punya Tithi during Sukla Paksha. What are Punya Tithis? It could be Ashtami, it could be Dwadasi, it could be Chaturdasi, it could be Panchami. Depending on DT form, depending on the Yaga you are doing, that that particular Punya Tithi can be established. So either on Paurnami or Amavasya or Sukla Paksha's Punya Tithis, he has to do these Yajna Upasana. So they are saying basic things. They are basic to us because we already probably know this. But they are saying you have to clean the place, you have to sweep the place, you have to do prokshana with water, and you have to create an Agni Kunda, and you have to do Agnihotra with your manassu completely indulged in it, and you have to do Homa in that Homa Kunda. They are saying in the Yajna process, if Doyle and Srikant, you remember, I don't know if you have done, while we do Agni Pratishta, we put our right leg forward and we give that first Ahuti through Srukku, or you can even use a bronze uh, Patra. Patra meaning a vessel. So that first Ahuti has to be done like that. And you have to do Ahuti, you have to give Ahutis to Chakshur Indriya Devatas, and you have to ask for the Sayuja in Agniloka, and they're just saying the kind of Agni Upasanas you have to do. Now, similarly, you have to do Agni Upasana for Shravanendriyadi Devata, Mano Indriyadi Devata, Prajnana Devata, all these kinds of Devatas that are there. You are doing Agni Upasana. You are giving Ahutis. So here you can also do sankalpas of your wants or your ichhas, and then you give your yajna ahutis. సో ఇలా హోమం చేసిన తర్వాత హోమాగ్ని నుండి వచ్చే ధూపాన్ని చక్కగా పీల్చవలెను. ధూమ దట్ కమ్స్ అవుట్ ఆఫ్ యజ్ఞ హోమ గుండ, the smoke that emerges out of yajna kunda, as you give ahutis, do not walk away from the smoke that comes out of it. You inhale it to your convenience with respect. Now one form of it is to పాత్రలో ఉన్న ఆజ్యం మొత్తాన్ని హోమకుండంలో వేసి చేతులు శుభ్రం చేసుకోవాలి. You have to offer the entire ఆజ్యం that is in your patra into the yajna kunda and pray to the deities that you have done the yajna to fulfill your wishes. And this is for fulfilling your this is a process to fulfill your vancha homa, kamya homa. Now they are talking about janavasha homa, the similar process, but after inhaling the dhuma, the smoke that comes out of yajna, the rest of the ajya that is there, the rest of the ఏమంటారు దాన్ని, ద ఘీ దట్ ఈస్ దేర్, ఆ ఆజ్యాన్ని అంతా శరీరానికి పూసుకోవాలి. ద వాట్ ఎవర్ రిమైన్స్ యూ అప్లై ఇట్ టు యువర్ బాడీ అండ్ దెన్ that gives you the ఆకర్షణ శక్తి to attract people. These all come under Vishaya Gnana. These all come under a part of Agni Upasana. So this literally is talking about a tantra to either fulfill your wishes or to attract people, janakarshana shakti. Now they are saying మానవుడు తన శరీరం లోపల నిరంతరం చేసే యజ్ఞాన్ని ప్రాతర్థనం అంటారు. Now outside he is doing yajnas either to fulfill his wishes or to get janakarshana shakti or whatever. Internally also he is doing a kind of yajna. When he is breathing he cannot speak, when he is speaking he cannot breathe. Right now I am speaking, while speaking I am not breathing. I take a pause, I breathe, I intake breath and then I speak again. So while doing one, the other is getting paused. So while speaking I am giving my breath as ahuti to my speech. That is one form of yajna. Now I have stopped speaking. I am giving my speech as ahuti to swasa. This is another form of yajna. So this yajna is consistently happening within us. Among these two, which is the better yajna? Just in Koushitaki Brahmanopanishadh, we have learnt prano brahmeti. The prana is what? Swasa. Is it better to give prana as ahuti to vak or speech, or is it better to give speech as ahuti to prana? Speech as ahuti to prana. Ramana Maharshi stayed silent for 11 years. He did not speak a single word to anybody. The first word he spoke to was to Kavyakanta Ganapati Muni. So 11 years he gave ahutis to his prana. What ahuti? Vak ahuti. The internal yajna that you do. That is why maunam is recommended by all the sadhakas. Be silent. Don't speak unnecessary things. Speak only if it is necessary to speak. This comes because it is an internal yajna. ఈ పరస్పర యజ్ఞం ఎప్పుడు జరుగుతూనే ఉంటుంది. ద మూమెంట్ ఐ స్పీక్ ఐఎమ్ గివింగ్ మై ప్రాణ యాజ్ ఆహుతి, మై ప్రాణవాయు యాజ్ ఆహుతి టు మై స్పీచ్. సో వాట్ ఈస్ దిస్ ప్రాణవాయు? దట్ ఈస్ బ్రహ్మన్. ఐఎమ్ గివింగ్ అవుట్ బ్రహ్మన్ అన్నెసరీలీ. ఐఎమ్ గివింగ్ బ్రహ్మన్ యాజ్ ఆహుతి. Do it as little as possible. So this understanding comes if you think deeper. Here it is simply said, when you speak, your vayu comes out as ahuti. When you stay silent, your vak becomes ahuti to your pranavayu. But just now we have learned that prano brahmeti, right? So that is why maunam or silence is very important. It is protecting your prana or protecting the Brahman that is within. Let him be as glorious as you can experience him to be. So what you do, you simply sit, you give that concentration on inhalation and exhalation. పలుమారు ఉచ్ఛ్వాస పవనమందుండెడి నీ భావంబు తెలిపని ఉయ్యాల. Now the multiple times you are inhaling and exhaling, that itself is Paramatma, that itself is Brahman. So realizing that through Uchvasa and Ichvasa is again sadhana of Brahma. So far understood? So this is happening, both of these yajnas are happening in మెలకువలో కానీ నిద్రలో కానీ నిరంతరం తన మనస్సులో జరుగుతూనే ఉంటుంది. ఇన్ జాగృత్ స్వప్న సుషుప్త్యావస్థస్, ఎదర్ యు ఆర్ స్పీకింగ్ ఇంటర్నలీ ఆర్ ఎక్స్టర్నలీ, యూ షుడ్ నాట్ గివ్ యువర్ ప్రాణ యాజ్ ఆహుతి యాజ్ మచ్ యాజ్ పాసిబుల్. సో now understanding this, realizing that anyway they are giving ahutis, internal two kinds of yajnas are happening within. Maharshis have always done bahya yajna to reduce their karmas. So internal yajna is to realize Brahman. External yajnas, the karmas outside, they are to reduce your karma. Brahma, karma. Internal yajna is to raise the understanding of Brahman. External yajna is to decrease the effects of karma. So both of them are equally important, and both of them are Agni Upasana. Now they are talking about ఆరుణి మహర్షి ఇప్పటిదాకా బోధించిన విద్య మొత్తం బ్రహ్మమే. ఆ బ్రహ్మాన్ని శుష్క అంగారం మృక్ అని ఉపాసిస్తారు. ద సేమ్ బ్రహ్మ ఈస్ prayed to as Sushka Angaram Bruk. Sushka is basically dry. Angaram Bruk is brightly burning charcoal. What is in Yajnakunda? Ever burning, dry
Fire and
wood that has turned into charcoal, basically.
yeah, right.
Or Angara also means bhasma. So whatever yajna you are doing, the fire that is there in your yajna kunda or the bhasma that comes afterwards, that itself is Brahman. People also do upasana of Brahman by yajna. That is what they are saying. So Sushka Angaram Mruk. సో మానవుడు సకల ప్రాణులు బ్రహ్మాన్ని ఉపాసిస్తున్నట్టుగా భావన చేస్తూ యజుర్వేద రుక్కులతో ప్రార్థించాలి. నౌ వైల్ డూయింగ్ యజ్ఞాస్, దే ఆర్ సేయింగ్ వెన్ యూఆర్ దెర్ ఆర్ 3 kinds of this one. యజుర్వేద రుక్కులతో ప్రార్థించాలి. హౌ హీ హ్యాస్ టు డూ విత్ యజుర్వేద రుక్కు మీన్స్ mantras. How does he have to do with Yajurveda mantras? As if all the pranis that there are doing Brahmopasana. That should be his bhavana. So when you are doing with Yajurveda mantras, do not do it as if you are doing. Do it as if Sakala pranis are doing this particular karma, and then do Brahmopasana. Basically, every prana that there is itself Brahma. So all these individual pieces of Brahma are doing Brahmopasana. That should be the bhavana. This is one. Two, సకల జీవులు ఆ పరబ్రహ్మని ఋగ్వేద రుక్కుతో స్తుతిస్తున్నట్టుగా, ఆయన దివ్య మహిమల్ని సామవేద రుక్కులతో గానం చేస్తున్నట్టుగా ప్రార్థన చేయాలి. సెకండ్ ఇస్ as if all the జీవీస్ are praying to. Now they are appraising Parabrahma with Rigveda mantras, and they are singing his qualities through Samaveda mantras. He ఈ విధంగా ఆ పరబ్రహ్మ సౌందర్యాన్ని, ఆయన మహిమల్ని, గుణగణాల్ని, తేజస్సుని, కీర్తిని, ఐశ్వర్యాన్ని సకల ప్రాణాల్లో దర్శించాలి. వైల్ డూయింగ్ యజుర్వేద, as if everybody is doing this puja, we are doing it. Whereas when it comes to Rigveda and Samaveda, Rigveda mantras should be appraising Brahma, and Samaveda mantras is appraising his forms. These two are done. The third form is looking at everybody as someone who is holding his gunaganalni, tejassuni, kirtini, aishwaryanni. Everything that Brahman is looking at everybody as equally enlightened, equally prominent form of Parabrahma. So all these three, whoever is doing it, he is called a yogi. This is the definition of yogi. Whoever is using Veda mantras as if every Jivi is doing it, and he is doing Agni Upasana, he is called a yogi. This is a little difficult for me to understand and explain, for all of us to first understand what they are saying is difficult in itself. But to explain exactly what it is saying is even more difficult. They are classifying it into 3 parts. 1, Yajurveda. 2, Rigveda and Samaveda. 3rd, Atharvana Veda. How are they saying he should use Atharvana Veda? ఇక అథర్వుడు అయిన వాడు సంస్కరించబడిన వాటన్నిటినీ రుగ్మయంగా సామమయంగా చూస్తాడు. సో someone who is doing with Atharvana Veda, he looks at everything as equivalent, as respectfully as he looks at Veda mantras, and Samamayanga is Samaveda has that singing quality. The swara of Samaveda is different. So he looks at everything as equally beautiful, as equally as Brahma. Now this is called Trayi Vidya. This is called Trayi Vidya. ఈ విద్య వల్ల ఈ సమస్తం ఆత్మమయంగా తెలుస్తుంది. బికాస్ ఆఫ్ దిస్, ప్రాక్టీసింగ్ దిస్, హీ ఎక్స్పీరియన్సెస్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ యాజ్ ద సింగిల్ ఆత్మన్. ఈ విషయాన్ని తెలుసుకున్నవాడు స్వయంగా ఆత్మే అవుతాడు. సో హూఎవర్ ఈస్ డూయింగ్ దిస్ అగ్ని ఉపాసన, హూఎవర్ ఈస్ యూజింగ్ యజుర్వేద, ఋగ్వేద, సామవేద అండ్ అథర్వణ వేద and performing the rituals as with the bhavana, with the it's not imagination, with the bhavana nemanachu Kantu. Hello?
Is it something like visualization?
It's not even visualization. Bhavana is
Imagination.
imagination asal kaadu.
No, it is feeling, Baba.
Imagination is ఊహ వేరే, ఇది భావన.
Feeling, the emotion.
Feeling, you are feeling as every it's not exactly feeling, but let's say feeling for now. So with the bhavana that every prana is doing this upasana, whoever does that is seeing everything as the Atma. So this is called Trayi Vidya. Whoever realizes this is himself being the Satyatma. We have discussed what Satyatma is quite recently. Next comes the Suryopasana. They are saying Suryopasana has to be done by wearing Yajnopavita thrice a day, in the morning, in the noon and in the evening. Srikanth, Suryasya Mamanyasya అని చెప్పి చదువుతాం కదా, అది త్రికాల సంధ్యలో చేసే దాన్ని సూర్యోపాసన అంటారు. So Suryopasana is one, the Veda mantra which requests to Surya Deva to reduce my unwanted karma, mistakenly done karmas. That is one form of Suryopasana. And there is also Arghya Pradana, giving Arghyam to Surya. This also comes under Suryopasana. Then there is Chandropasana. That again becomes a very lengthy topic. Let's start with Chandropasana in the next week. But they talk about Shukla Chandropasana, they talk about other things. But simply let me give one form of Chandropasana. We have learned about Shukla Paksha and Krishna Paksha. Shukla Paksha is the day after Amavasya, that is Paityami, till the day of Paurnami, that is Shukla Paksha. Then the day after Paurnami, Purnima, the first day after Purnima till the day of Amavasya, they are 15 days and 15 days. So they become Shukla Paksha and Krishna Paksha respectively. So those who do Chandropasana, they start by eating one fistful of rice. Oka mudda in the sense, one, it should not be called a rice ball, but so one fistful of rice they start with on the first day of Shukla Paksha. They increase one more fistful till the 15th day on Paurnami. On Paurnami they eat 15 fistfuls of rice, of food basically, and then they reduce one fistful every day in Krishna Paksha, and on Amavasya they don't eat anything at all. This is again Chandropasana. Yeah, Doyle.
That is for every meal or just one meal in a day?
I think it's one meal in a day.
Then what about people who are doing other fasts?
This is, see, you cannot do every sadhana that there is. Every sadhana that there is can never be achieved, because if I am doing Chandropasana, I cannot do other mantra sadhanas. If I am doing other mantra sadhanas, I may not be able to do Jnana sadhana. If I am doing Jnana sadhana, I may not be able to do Yoga sadhana. And what about Dhyana sadhana? Meditation, Uchvasa Nishvasa sadhana of breath. So you cannot do every particular sadhana. This is talking about Chandropasana. This is how you do the Upasana of Chandra. We have spoken about Upasana of Agni. So they are all different practices. They are all different ways to do these sadhanas. Yeah, Doyle.
The point of doing these different upasanas is to realize Brahman, ultimate truth.
Is to get to these particular lokas.
Okay, to get to the loka.
Is to attain. Somebody wants to end up in Surya Mandala. They do Suryopasana.
I don't know
Then
how Surya Mandala looks like, or is how do I
it's
choose
it's
which one?
it's difficult to perceive. We don't know how Parabrahman is. We don't know what that shapeless. See, if I close my eyes and say he's a shapeless ball of energy, I'm still imagining a form. If I'm saying Brahman, I'm giving him a name. So we are not actually perceiving the true sense of that. We are just trying to understand what the Maharshis have said and then trying to get there at some point. We'll stop and we'll close with the Shanti Mantra of Rigveda. ॐ वाङ्मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् अविरावीर्मयेधि वेदस्य म आणीस्थः श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासीः अनेनाधीतेन अहोरात्रान् संदधामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Remember 3 things: Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa. You have listened, you remember what you have listened, you repeat in yourself what you have listened, and then put it to practice. In Aitariya Upanishad, we have listened to the 3 places where Paramatma is. We have learned why we put on Kunkuma or Bindya or whatever, and we remembered it probably in the later time, but that did not come into Nididhyasa. Anyway, I'm just kidding. So, why I'm saying is, whatever we are learning about Parabrahman or whatever ways of Parabrahman we are trying to look, we have gotten out the important slogan or sutra out of Koushitaki Brahmanopanishadh. Prano Brahmeti. I think that is it. So, if you're in a calm state and you're taking long breaths, just look at your prana as Brahma, and you see other living beings. I'm not just talking about humans. Everything that is living around you. Try to just look at their prana as Brahma for a few moments. They are saying the entire universe will begin to respond to you. You don't have to beg someone for something. Let's try that. Let's say Brahman, you and I are the same. See you guys. Bye.